Hi guys, my name's Michaela. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. And today we're talking about a study on human intelligence. We'll be talking about how humans have been evolving and whether it's good or bad. If you guys have questions or comments on this class or want to just say hi or suggest materials for future classes, you can friend me on Facebook. I'll put my Facebook name in the chat box. And Andre, welcome to the class.
Thank you. Hello.
How are you, Andre?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Are you ready for the weekend?
Yes, of course.
Excellent. Any big plans?
No, not many. Just a little rest.
Excellent. Me too. Me too. So I put the notes for class in the chat box for you, and
Okay.
I'll also screen share for anyone else out there who needs it. I can get that to go. So to warm up, we're going to talk about the questions under the warm-up section, obviously. And that is, were you a bright student in your school days, or what kind of student were you? Andre, tell us if you really enjoyed school. Were you a total nerd, or did you not really enjoy school and not take an interest?
50-50, I think.
All right. So you were somewhere in between.
Yes, yes, between.
All right. Fair enough. What did you enjoy about school? Favorite subjects?
Favorite subjects: history, English, and geography, law in high school.
Awesome. Very cool. All right. Let's go on and talk about number 2. What are some of the greatest achievements and inventions of mankind? So make a list of some of the greatest inventions and accomplishments that we have under our belts.
Wheel, I think.
What did you say? Oil?
No, wheel. A wheel.
The wheel. Right.
Yes,
So like
yes.
for
The wheel.
cars and
Yes,
shopping
yes.
carts that use the wheel. Yeah, that's a huge one. For
Yes,
sure. That's a good one.
one of the first great invention. Um, writing. I think writing.
All right. Those are two huge ones. Riding the wheel. Anything else you want to add to our list?
Typography.
Yeah, we certainly have discovered a lot through topography.
Yes, it's a hundreds actually. Great inventions. A
Yeah,
thousand.
that's true.
A
The list
thousand.
could go on for days.
Yes.
All right. And how about question number 3? In what ways, if any, are you superior to a caveman?
Mm, uh, in many ways, in all ways actually.
So name a few for us.
Uh, so we have technology uh,
Mhm.
in all ways of this world. So we have transport. We have writing. We have books. Have a lot of informations about the world. We have science. Uh, we have high and strong building, so architecture. Uh, uh, we have we have stability
That's true.
because it's
So you think
7 billion of humankind in the planet, so we
there's
couldn't
a lot.
just we couldn't just been destroyed by some animals
Yeah.
in one day. Uh, and now we have a huge potential in
Yeah,
our future.
totally. All right. So we're going to read a little bit about this study. The title is Human Beings Getting Dumber. So we'll see what you think about this. Can you read the first two paragraphs?
Okay. Study human beings getting dumber. Given the technological advances we have witnessed in our lifetimes, it seems ridiculous to argue that humans are getting dumber. This is, however, that Stanford University researcher Gerald Crabtree has suggested. In two recently published articles, he writes, I would be willing to wager that if an average citizen of Athens of 1000 BC were to appear suddenly among us, he or she would be among the brightest and most intellectually alive of our colleagues and companions. We would be surprised by our time visitor's memory, broad range of ideas, and clear-sighted view of important issues. I would also guess that he or she would be among the most emotionally stable of our friends and colleagues.
All right. So, as those sink in, let's talk a little bit about the bold vocabulary words. The first one it's the very first word in the very first paragraph. Given the technological advances, could you describe the function of that word or the definition of that word for us, given?
So it's like a present. So,
Uh-huh. True. What else?
uh, maybe established, certain.
Yeah, those are some other great synonyms. All right.
Mm-hmm.
What about the next word in bold we read? Wager. The word wager. Any idea about that word?
Um, okay. It's um, it's a it's a bet.
Yeah,
Synonym
exactly.
of a bet. Yes.
Similar to a bet. So you put money down and you take a
Yes.
risk that you think your
Yes.
idea is correct.
Take
Do
a
you have any
parry.
other? Huh?
Like a parry.
Take a what?
No, no, like a parry. No.
Put the P word in the chat box for me.
I don't know. It mistake.
All right. Well, I think you have the right idea about the word wager. And
Yes.
Alan, welcome to class.
Yes, hello, Michaela.
Hey there. we just read the first two paragraphs. Do you have the notes open and are you following along with us?
Yes, I just opened the document.
Awesome.
There is a lot of work I don't know.
All right, well, we just discussed the two words in bold in the first two
Okay.
paragraphs. Do you have any other vocabulary questions in the first two paragraphs?
Okay, it's okay. For the word rager, I don't have much idea on that.
All right. Then, Andre, can you summarize what we said the definition of the word wager is?
Oh, it's like a bet.
Mm-hmm. So what would that mean? How can you make a wager?
Uh, so you may take a risk.
Mm-hmm. So,
Put a bet.
mm-hmm. So you might put money down and say, I bet $10 that this outcome will occur. Some people do it for like sports games. So you might say, I bet or I wager $5 that this team is going to win. Okay. And Rafael, welcome to class.
Hi, Michaela.
Good to have you with us, Rafael. Do you have any vocabulary questions from the first two paragraphs in our article?
No, not yet.
All right, excellent. Ken, how about you? Are you following along? Have you read the first two paragraphs?
Yeah, I'm leading. And what is dump? Dumper.
Dumber. Good question. Can anyone else explain the word dumber?
The opposite of smart.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
like more,
so we have the word,
It's like more stupid.
Yeah.
So we get it, more stupid.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
That's the idea. Thanks, guys. And Nader, welcome to class.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Good to have you with us. Do you have the notes open?
Nope, but you have shared your screen?
Uh-huh. You can follow along with us there if you like. We just read the first two paragraphs where it said that there was a guy called Gerald Crabtree from Stanford University, and he believes that people from 1000 BC, so a couple thousand years ago, were actually smarter than we are on average now. So we're going to read a little more about that. The next paragraph, I'm going to ask Alan to read. Will you read this third paragraph here?
Okay. Crabtree's thesis is based on the idea that our genes must be functioning at full capacity to optimize intellectual and emotional behavior. He contends that our intelligence may have peaked before our hunter-gatherer ancestors left America. At that time, due to selective pursuits, humans evolved to have genes that maximized brain power. Since then, selective pressure has decreased. This has made it possible for several genetic mutations that hinder our intellectual and emotional capabilities to survive.
Thank you very much. So we had a lot of vocabulary words in this section. Let's start to define the words in bold, and then we'll talk about any other questions that come up. How about the first word, optimize? Optimize our intellectual and emotional behavior. Can someone give us a definition for the word optimize?
Improve,
Uh-huh. Improve. What else is it like?
Make better.
Adjust.
Okay, could be like adjust or to make better. Kind of like to use something at 100% of its potential. So to optimize is to use as much as possible of something. Like to use as much as...
Getting more
Go
efficient.
ahead. Yeah, more efficient, exactly. Mm-hmm.
Maybe the balance of effective and efficiency.
Yes, great definition. All right, how about our next word, contends? He contends that our intelligence may have peaked before. So what does contend mean?
Belief, I guess.
Did he say relief?
Belief.
Oh, belief. Yeah, belief. Similar to that. What's another synonym we might use here?
Declare.
Declare would be a great one. Did I hear anything else?
Claim.
Claim. Uh-huh. Excellent synonyms, guys. How about the next one? Peaked. What's the peak?
Top.
Exactly, the top. All right, ancestors?
grandfathers,
Huh?
maybe all generations or grandfathers.
Ah, yes. Yes, all the people who came before, like grandfathers, exactly. Okay, next up is mutations. What is a genetic mutation?
It's like changes in genes.
Changes, but for the worse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, usually a change for the worse. Definitely a change. Something strange. All right, and hinder, the last one in this paragraph.
Block
Huh?
or prevent. Block or prevent.
Mm-hmm. Block or prevent, sure. Or sometimes it's not entirely block or prevent, but to make something more difficult. All right, I think we've got it. We defined all of the bold words. Is there questions on any of the other vocabulary from that paragraph? Okay, then let's go on to the next paragraph. And this time, let's see. How about Raphael? Will you read that paragraph for us?
Despite these two or more harmful mutations over the past 3,000 years, Crabtree believes that technology will allow humans to compensate for these mutations in the future. We have a long time to solve it. People 300 years ago had no idea where we is scientifically now. He says, we'll be able to deal with this problem with a range of human and ethical solutions.
Thank you very much. And with the end of that paragraph, let's define these words in bold. Compensate. Let's get a definition for compensate.
Makeup.
Price you pay.
Did you say repay? I think I heard repay, which is a pretty good definition. What else can we say about compensate?
Price
Makeup.
you pay.
Make up for is another good synonym here. Anything else?
Price you pay.
The price you pay. Okay. Definitely has to do with price. Yes. And the last word here, humane. What is a humane solution?
Related to humans, like sensitive or
Uh-huh. Yeah, something sensitive. Sure. All right. So let's read the last paragraph then. We'll finish this up. And how about Ken? Can you read that for us?
Okay. Critics say there is sufficient data to support Crabtree's thesis. Others, such as psychological professor Aya Reingold, argue that the modern-day threats to intelligence are not genetic but environment-based. These threats rooted in our upbringing and socialization are the causes of school bullying and children bring guns to school, according to Reingold.
Thank you very much. So, the word rooted. Our last vocabulary word in this article, rooted.
Derived from.
Derived from. Any other synonyms you guys want to add here? Okay, that's a good one. Do you guys have any questions about this whole article before we talk a little more about it and answer some questions?
So the last paragraph, the other researchers argued maybe not because of our genes, because of our circumstances change humans.
Mm-hmm. Possible.
Okay.
Exactly. All right. So let's answer some of these follow-up questions. Number 1, according to Crabtree, how would an Athenian from 1000 BC differ from a modern man? Nadir, any ideas? The answer to this
yes,
one is in paragraph number 2.
Yes, he said he would appear as the brightest and most intellectually alive of our colleagues and companions. He would seem smarter than the others. He would stand out from the rest of the people.
Yep, exactly. All right. Number 2, what does Crabtree believe has caused this decline in intelligence? How about Andre? Any ideas?
Oh.
Andre, are you there?
Yes. It's because of our genes, because of genetic mutations.
Okay. And why are these genetic mutations stopping us from optimizing our intellect? How did that happen? Does anyone remember how these genetic mutations are stopping us now but didn't before?
Due to selective pressure.
Selective pressures.
Yes.
That's true. So what does that mean? What kind of selective pressures?
I think because people was trying to survive in the environment, so they have to potentially maximize their power, their brain power.
Exactly. So they were using all of their brain power to survive. And if you couldn't do that, then you might not have survived. Versus now, we really don't have that problem. Even people who are not that smart, they still get to live. We don't kill anyone, right? Not, like, oh, you're too dumb. Let's kill him. Like, it doesn't happen. So that's why we have these genetic mutations. Number 3, true or false? Crabtree believes the decline will continue indefinitely. Raphael, any idea?
I think he believes that technology will allow humans to compensate, find a way to compensate for the decline of our
Yep.
ability to think.
Yeah, so technology will save us. Exactly. All right. And the last one, number 4. Cite 2 criticisms of Crabtree's thesis. Ken, do you know any criticisms to Crabtree's thesis?
Yeah, one critic is Cateris. I know other researcher says Rangel says it's not because of genes, because of our social environment made us changed.
Yeah, social environment. And there's one more criticism. What's the other criticism?
Is it in the last paragraph or other paragraph?
Yeah, the last paragraph.
Last paragraph.
Insufficient data.
Yeah, insufficient data. So they say that there's really no way to know that for sure. It's kind of just a hypothesis, not treated as real yet. All right. Any other comments or questions on this article before we start to talk a little more about vocabulary? So we already defined all the words in bold, which you see here. And they have their part of speech next to them as well, if that's important. Now we're going to use some of those words in making our own sentences. So for example, this first one is not a set of vocab that we saw in the article, so I'm going to use this as an example. We have the word government and uprising. I might make a sentence like, the government squashed the uprising in the year 1867 or something. So I use both of those words in one sentence. I'm going to assign you guys some words and ask you to write a sentence in the chat box using both of those phrases. Any questions before we begin? Excellent. Then Raphael, you can have given and population. Nader, you get the next set, wager and ancestors. Andre, you get the next set, optimize and performance. Alan, you get scientists and contend. And Ken, you get peak and civilization. That one's on the next page. There we go. So make a creative sentence using both of the phrases you were given and put it in the chat box when you're ready. If you guys have any questions while you're working, just let me know and I can help you. Great, we have some sentences already. The population was given the right to choose their destiny. Great, excellent sentence, Raphael. Go ahead and start on the next one since you're already done. Your next set is mutation and hinder. And the next sentence I see, the peak of the civilization, can't talk. The peak of the civilization has not yet been achieved. So that one we have to change a little bit just to make sure that it's grammatically correct. We'll say has not yet been achieved.
Okay,
Like
has not yet been achieved. Passive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, passive. Okay, and the next sentence. Had ancestors come to our present time, I wager they would be much surprised of the current technology. I wager you're right, Nader. And instead of, I would use about. But that's the only change I would make there. Otherwise, it's a great sentence. Thanks. Okay, so Ken, since you already finished your sentence, write a sentence using compensate and stupidity. Nader, use technology and humane. And yeah, Nader, surprised about the current technology. Thanks. Okay, next sentence. The scientist contends that monkey is the ancestor of human species. Okay, so a couple minor changes here. We probably will make scientists plural because it's not just one. Or if you did want to say just one, you might be able to make it the topic, like science contends. But we'll make it scientists. So scientists contend, no S, that the monkey is the ancestor of the human species. Like that. A couple minor changes there. Excellent sentence, Alan. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
And the next one, the last set we have is problems and rooted. So make a new sentence using that set of vocab words. And we'll continue to read some of the others. The next one. Frequent mutations in the virus's DNA hinder the possibility to find a short-term cure. Wow, excellent. Awesome sentence, Raphael. A pretty deep one. No corrections there. And the next one, the humane aspect of technology is missing at the moment. The technology nowadays is hindering human communication. Awesome. You guys are making great sentences. I love that one. Thanks, Nader. And the next one, TEPCO's stupidity about the nuclear power plant accident cannot be compensated. All right. Awesome sentence. And is TEPCO the company that had the power plant accident?
Yeah, it's chosen for Tokyo Electric Company.
Ah, got it. Yeah. Well, excellent sentence. Sad topic, but excellent sentence, Ken. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. So we're still waiting on a couple sentences. I'll give you guys another minute. Finish up any sentences you're working on so that we can go on and have a little more discussion before we finish up. Excellent. We have another. Some problems in genetic revolution remain unrooted. Interesting one. Okay. So first, I assume you mean evolution, not revolution, right?
Yes.
Genetic revolution would be pretty cool too, but in this context, evolution makes more sense. So, some problems in genetic evolution remain unrooted. So we have two verbs together there, and it doesn't really make sense in that particular situation. So we'll take out the verb to be and just use remain. They remain unrooted. What do you mean by unrooted? Like they have no source?
Yes. It's not solved. No solution for some problem.
Okay. Let's see. So then let's say some problems in genetic evolution remain rooted in unsolvable matters?
Yes.
Okay, so that changes the sentence to make a little more sense. If we say that they're unrooted, it just means that like they don't have an origin. So if we change it to say they're rooted in unsolvable matters, it I think takes a better meaning of what you were trying to say, right?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yes.
Thanks for your excellent sentences, guys. I was impressed. Now let's talk a little bit about the article. Do you believe Crabtree? Why or why not? So are we stupider now than we were before? Rafael, give us your opinion.
I think we're not. I disagree. We are not getting more stupid. We're always stupid since the beginning. Uh, all I think we just have other opportunities to show our stupidity nowadays than before. But I think we're always stupid.
All right, so nothing has changed. It's just the situation that makes us look stupider or smarter.
Yes, I believe.
All right. I like your explanation. Nader, what do you think? Do you think we're stupider now or smarter now?
I guess we are not we say stupider, or we say, can we use stupid with AR? Stupider?
Yeah, stupider or
Or
dumber.
more stupid?
Stupider is better, but both are fine.
Okay, so I guess we are not dumber or stupider now, but the use of technology has made our life easier. So now we lost some skills because of because we don't use our skills as much as we have used to before. So now memory skills are decreasing because of this. Because we don't need to use it that much. Now we are saving everything using these devices or technological tools. So I guess we are losing some skills. We are not getting stupider or something, but we are losing some skills because of the technology. Because if you don't use it, you lose it.
Very true. Don't use it, you lose it. Great phrase. Okay,
Yes.
Andre, do you agree with Crabtree that we're getting stupider?
No, actually, I agree with critics, and I think that is just a hypothesis, and there is not enough data to declare that. And I think there's all of this just about the growing population. So it has some statement that the sum of the intelligence on the planet is a constant and the population is growing. So it seems to be that mankind is getting more stupid, but it isn't true. So I think so.
Okay, so the same number of smart people exist, but our population is growing, so that means
Yes.
there's a larger number of people who are not as intelligent.
And there's YouTube.
Yeah.
So people can show they stupid.
True. It seems more obvious.
All other people.
Mm-hmm. All right. Alan, what do you think? Is Crabtree right, or do you agree with the other students in class?
Yes, I don't believe captures because I think even though we don't have to have much pressure to survive in the environment, but we still have a certain pressure in our life. For modern society, we have more and more competition in the world, and also there are some people in the third world country is being in hungry and some more problems for their survive. So I think there are more challenges in the world have to be solved, and we are doing in our track to doing well. So I think people are more smart than uh, ancestor, and just the ways of using our power is changes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's all.
Yeah. All right. Excellent ideas. And Ken, tell us if you agree.
I agree with these opinions, and actually, his human evolution doesn't cannot be happen in such a short period. Maybe humans stopped hunting gatherers maybe 10,000 years ago or something. Maybe it's not
Mm-hmm.
enough time to change our genes or evolution. And plus, he maybe it seems that he doesn't show the enough data to prove that. And yeah, actually, the technology as the technology developed, maybe we might have lost some skills because of the technology, but it's not because our gene changed, I guess.
All right. Scientific approach. I like it. So no one really thinks Crabtree is correct. We have a pretty positive class. All right. Let's go on and talk about some quotes. So we have a couple quotations for discussion. The first one I'm going to highlight and ask, how about Andre? Will you read that for us and then tell us your thoughts on it?
In the literal sense, there has been no relevant evolution since the trek from Africa, but there has been substantial progress towards high standards of rights, justice, and freedom, along with all too many illustrations of how remote is the goal of a decent society. Noam Chomsky.
So what do you think? Was Noam Chomsky right?
I think no. So what does it mean, no relevant evolution? It means biological or what? I don't understand.
Yeah, so no relevant evolution just means we really have not changed very much since Africa.
Oh, so it is true, yes, because we don't have any biological changes.
Okay, but we do have some changes. What do you think of the changes we have made? Anyone else want to give their opinion here on if they think that this quote by Noam Chomsky is factual and real, or if it doesn't make any sense? All right. Then we'll move on. Go ahead.
Chomsky talked about cultural changes, I think, but not about technological. So it
True.
means yes, because we have a lot of new instruments to manipulate the world.
Yeah, definitely. That's something missing from his quote. That's been a big change. Okay, and how about the next one? Nadir, will you read the next quote for us?
Since when has the world of computer software design been about what people want? This is a simple question of evolution. The day is quickly coming when every knee will bow down to a silicon fist, and you will all beg your binary gods for mercy. Bill Gates.
Mm-hmm. So, Alan, what do you think of this quote?
Hmm.
Do you guys have
Uh,
vocabulary questions on either of these?
no, this is no vocabulary, but I don't really quite get it because of a Bill Gates' point of view is that he is saying the computers people are rely computer more and more in their life, so that this is unavoidable. People will control by the silicon fit, like the Windows software and computer. This
Yeah.
is what Bill
Yeah,
Gates
he's
said?
I
saying
guess
that. Huh? Go ahead.
Yes, I guess he is saying that the evolution is going on, and one day robots or computers will control the world, and they will go and rule human beings. So you have to beg your binary gods for mercy. So they are the bosses now, these robots and computers.
But in my point of view, the computer is actually pushing me to think more, to analysis for the information, because information comes so fast in nowadays. So the people who control operate with computer has to be uh, more and more fast, quick to digest the information and getting the result and make it more advanced. So I don't think one day we will be keen bow down to the silicon fit. This I don't agree.
All
Uh,
right. Does anyone else not agree as well? Raphael, do you agree with this quote or disagree?
I disagree a little bit, but um, not as a general idea of this quote, because I think it's right. Every concept of information, people, I think the current trend of things of society, uh, it's coming to this point in which computers will rule the world, and we won't have the I don't want to say the right, but the ability to think more clearly in a sense, because I think people, I don't want to say that word, but I think people, it's getting lazy with since computers are spread throughout the world,
Mm-hmm.
because maybe simple thoughts, or maybe simple activities like memorize something, people choose for resist this information in the computer. So I think this is affecting or strongly our way of living nowadays. I think that maybe that's one of the reasons Crabtree uh, have driven his thoughts. I think because since people are not having so many ways to to keep the information, or to search information or activities which make our lives easy, and every day. Uh, I believe this is becoming a harmful thing in general.
All right. Well thought out ideas. What do you guys think? Is it becoming harmful, like Raphael said? Anyone else have an idea to share on this last quote we were talking about?
I disagree with Bill Gates, and I think that humans and computers will unite and will create some new creatures, some biological, some machine, with new abilities and with new powers. So I think so.
Wow, that sounds like an awesome future. All right, anyone else want to voice their opinion before we move on to some discussion questions?
I think that the concept of the computer, is we made outer brain outside our body. So kind of it's a bit different from the traditional view of the evolution. So it's very difficult to argue, but I don't agree with every knee we bow down to the silicon body first. Silicon first. Because I think our body, in my opinion, my body, my mind is first, and then silicon. So, but I know the computer influence to our mind or our life, yeah, so much nowadays. But it doesn't mean to bow down to silicon. Yeah, that's my
Okay,
personal
so his
opinion.
quote is a
Yeah.
little extreme. We're
Yeah,
creating these things to help ourselves, like an outer brain, like you said,
yeah.
to
Com
increase our ability.
yeah, computer for humans, not for humans for computer.
Cool. That's reassuring. All right, guys, any last thoughts on this quote?
Yes.
Go ahead. Tell us what you were saying, Alan.
Okay.
Alan, it looks like you have a thing. Let us know what you're thinking.
I think computer is just a tool. If just like a screwdriver, so we won't bow down to a screwdriver, so we won't bow down to silicon either.
All right. So similar to Akka, then, you think we're kind of creating computers to help us, and it won't go the other way around.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. That's good to hear. So let's answer a couple of these discussion questions before we wrap up. How about nature versus nurture? Which do you guys think is more important in intelligence? I'm going to ask a couple people to respond to this before we move on. Nadir, which do you think is more important, nature or nurture?
Nurture. Nurture is more important because you need nurture. You need to nurture your body. You need to nurture your mind. You need to nurture your soul. But nature is only an environment you live in, so it is only one factor. But you cannot, unless you feed yourself, you will feed every part of yourself. You cannot live at all.
All right. Simple answer. That sounds good. Thanks, Nadir. Raphael, nature or nurture? Which do you believe is more important?
I think it's nature, because if you have nurture, you have somewhere to extract it. So you have to be nature. I think nurture won't exist without nature.
Good point. Interesting. Thanks, Raphael. We'll move on to the next question, which I think is a fun one. Would you rather be an African hunter-gatherer, an Athenian from 1000 BC, or yourself today? Andre, what's your opinion?
Of course, today.
Of course.
1000 years ago, I could. Oh, it's actually 3,000. I could die just uh, just for many reasons. Many ills, wars. So
Was tougher. It was a tough life. Okay,
yes.
so you'd rather be yourself today. Alan, what would you prefer? Hunter-gatherer, Athenian from 1000 BC, or yourself today?
I prefer myself today.
And why is that?
Yes, because I think people should thinking moving forward, but not moving backward. So going into history is not a want to have.
All right. Is there anyone who would want to be a hunter-gatherer or Athenian from 1000 BC instead of who you are today? I would think about it. I totally think I would trade. I think that would be, I don't know. It'd be pretty cool. Of course, it's not an option, so it doesn't really matter. But I think I'd be an Athenian. Anyone else?
I have no idea.
It's a tough decision for sure. All right, and let's answer number 3.
So, why would you trade for an Athenian?
I think I would enjoy a lot of things. First off, it was a very advanced society. It's not like we're talking about any random place. It was like a really for the time, technologically advanced and stable society. So I think there'd be a lot of security there. But I think I would enjoy certain things like the discovery of stuff. At that time, there was just so much potential and less was known about the world, which I think kind of makes it a time when you could use your imagination more. Now that we know so much about the world we live in, and anything you don't know you can look up on Google, you don't use your imagination nearly as much, I think.
I see.
So I think it would be an interesting time to live in. Of course, it would have its difficulties as well.
For sure.
All right, let's do number 3. Ken, will you answer number 3? It says, Crabtree suggests that technology can compensate for genetic mutations in the future. How could this work?
I don't know. Actually, maybe I guess he want to say the technology, we lost some skills, primitive skills because of the technology, but technology, do these things instead of humans. That's my concept, how technology can compensate. But he mentioned about genetic mutation, so I don't believe genetic mutation happening, so quickly. So it doesn't make sense actually for me.
Okay. All right, guys, we've hit our time for class. Does anyone else have an important comment or question before we finish up today?
Do you think that girls are smarter than boys?
Yeah, we didn't get to that question. I personally think every individual is different, but that it does not relate to sex in any way. Does anyone else have a different opinion? All right. Safe. Any other comments or questions before we wrap up class?
Yes, it's about number 3 question about how technology can compensate. Maybe it's about our ability to rule our own genes in the future. So we can build our own genetics.
Yeah, could mean something like that.
compensate us. Yes.
That would be a very interesting idea or opportunity for us. Lots of room to grow there. All right. Thank you so much, guys, for coming, participating, and sharing your ideas. And I hope to see you all again soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Bye.
much. Bye.